This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at ease.com, which delivers adult use cannabis products on demand in California and now in the Portland, Oregon area, as well as easewellness.com, a new service delivering hemp derived CBD products to 41 U.S. states via the mail. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Wednesday, April 3rd, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 697 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We lead off today with a story about a shift in how our general society handles cannabis, at least in the localized scope of the state of Minnesota, where the Department of Corrections just changed its policy over the use of medical marijuana by people on parole to allow them to use it without the fear of being sent back to prison. The new policy change applies to people on parole and under supervised or conditional release, but not for those on probation, and went into effect on April 1st. Let's hope this change is one we see more of. Zip over to Minnesota Lawyer for all the important details here. Canadian marijuana company Aurora Cannabis just filed a preliminary prospectus with various Canadian and American securities regulatory agencies to raise up to $750 million in investment capital. The company will have the next 25 months to raise that much through the issuance of different kinds of investment vehicles like common shares, warrants, and debt securities. Aurora is one of the larger licensed providers on the Canadian marijuana scene, so having $750 million in fresh capital would give it a lot of room to play, as it's likely that some of that money could find its way to American markets through investment and acquisition. This is probably not a bad storyline to follow in general. Our final top story today wraps us up in New York State, where on Monday, Governor Andrew Cuomo said that even though he was not able to include adult use marijuana legalization in his budget for this year, he promises that it would get passed via the state legislature by June. In an interview on radio channel WAMC, Governor Cuomo said, quote, "We will get marijuana done. It's not a question of political desire. It's a question of practical reality of how you put the new system in place," unquote. Of course, the reality on the ground is a bit more complicated than that, so we'll have to wait a bit to see if legal cannabis in New York has what it takes to actually get done this year. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, and now an option for the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. And of course, there's easewellness.com, where you can get hemp-derived CBD products delivered through the mail in 41 U.S. states. Pop over to ease.com today to check out the wide array of legal cannabis products they offer up, all properly tested, packaged, and labeled. If you like getting exactly what you pay for, you're going to love being a customer of Ease. Find out for yourself just how easy Ease makes legal marijuana delivery over at ease.com and easewellness.com. Big thanks to everyone at Ease for supporting today's news. All right, time for the Blitz. Ben Adlin over at Leafly astutely picked up on a series of tweets made by our friend Shalene Title, one of the 5 members of the Massachusetts Cannabis Control Commission and an on-hiatus regular on our weekly podcast, Marijuana Today. Shalene is an active user of social media and recently posted up a list of 10 things that every new marijuana legalization bill should have. Regular listeners know that Shalene is also one of the more powerful voices in the industry when it comes to social equity and justice, so her list includes things like automatic expungement of past marijuana crimes, funding social equity programs, and requiring diversity in license holders as well as in the industry's regulators. Gone are the days when we had to settle for any legalization bill we could get. Shalene's list is a must-read. The Food and Drug Administration is scheduled to hold a public hearing on hemp-derived CBD at the end of next month, at which it will hear from stakeholders over how the agency should regulate CBD products. FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb tweeted about the announcement and said that his agency would also be forming an internal CBD products working group and issuing warning letters for, quote, unfounded marketing claims, unquote, to companies selling CBD. Kyle Yeager has a good piece on this over at Marijuana Moment. Colorado's one step closer to allowing for legal marijuana delivery as a state House committee approved a proposed piece of legislation yesterday setting up a delivery system. If passed, the legislation would allow medical marijuana to be delivered starting next year and adult use in 2021. The bill now heads to the House Finance Committee. Kyle's back with another story, this time a pickup of a collection of letters sent by Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky and Ron Wyden of Oregon to a number of federal agencies involved with financial regulation, asking that they provide guidance on hemp business banking and how financial institutions can operate within that realm. The letters were sent to the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the Federal Reserve System, and the Farm Credit Administration, and vary in content depending on the particular focus of the receiving agency, but all press for the relaxation of federal restrictions on banks doing business with the legal hemp industry. Kyle's story is worthy of a dive over. On Monday, New Jersey state health officials said that the state would need to greatly ramp up the number of licensed medical marijuana dispensaries from the current tally of 6 to as many as 90. The Department of Health said that the jump in demand for medical cannabis will need to be met by the rollout of many more medical shops, as it's getting as many as 100 new patient applications each day. There are around 44,000 registered patients in New Jersey right now, a number that's doubled in just the last year. Marijuana-focused investment fund Sol Global just upped its stake in premium soda maker Jones Soda from around the 8% mark it picked up first last month to just under 10%. While Sol Global doesn't invest exclusively in cannabis stocks, it does focus its energy there, so having a near 10% stake in a large soda maker could signal a future play in infused beverages. Not a bad storyline to watch. And finally for today, Marijuana Business Daily's chart of the week shows the month-by-month revenue totals for the Nevada legal marijuana industry. Showing the combined numbers for both medical and adult use, the chart reveals a plateauing total that hovered right around the $50 million per month mark for most of 2018. As with all Marijuana Business Daily charts, this one has lots of good background context and detail and is worthy of a full dive in. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website at mjtodaydaily.com and on our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Those are our headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily. Visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Jay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.